Well, hi everyone. Naomi Tucker here, and coming to you with another video. Excited to have you here with me, and whether you're here now or you're coming on the replay, I wanted to jump in and come here on this World Mental Health Awareness Day, and just really talk a little bit about mental health as it relates to event planning, as it relates to kind of checking your mental health and checking burnout and stress in your life as you're going about in this industry. As we all know, this is probably a really huge time for us as we're getting into just this is like a big season, right? So it's what you would call busy season. You're performing at your highest right now, especially as we're heading into some of the holiday periods. We're trying to pump out lots of those programs, and pretty much we never really see any relief during this time. It is definitely pedal to the metal during this time. So if you're an event planner that's watching this, an event professional that's watching this, and you are in that season, definitely nod your head, raise your head, or even give me a yes in the comments because I feel you. I think we're all in there, and this is good. This video is more like a self check on mental health, and I'm going to give you 5 key questions that you can ask yourself about your mental health, so that you can just always be constantly taking a look at that and in your life and in your career. So before I get started, I just wanted to introduce myself for those of you that do not know me. Again, my name is Naomi Tucker. I am a strategic events consultant and high performance coach, focusing on event professionals. Love to talk about burnout, overwhelm, love to talk about leadership and your career, and then just love to give productivity tips for you to be more efficient in what you do as you are just doing your thing. So that is what I do. That is what I'm here for. And yeah, if at any time that you're here, I just want to say go ahead and put anything in the comments, not anything, but put your questions in the comments. At the end of this stream, I will take a look at them and I will answer them to the best of my ability. If there are no questions, then we'll go ahead and end. But this is a live stream, so if you're here live and you want me to answer any questions, definitely go ahead and put that in the comments, and I'm happy to do that for you. But yeah, today we are going to talk about mental health awareness and talk a little bit about that. As you can see by this thumbnail, that's what we're going to talk about today. And like I said, we're in a season of just high performance. Many of us are traveling right now. We possibly are doing lots of event planning right now. We are in high interaction even with our customers right now, which means that we could be having agreements, we could be having disagreements, we could be setting expectations with our customers, and really focus right now on delivering lots of value. And if you're not focused on that, that's what we're here for, right? We're here to deliver value, deliver great experiences, and to be able to deliver satisfaction to all of our customers. However, many times that doesn't always go as we would like it to go, right? And there are things that we need to either triage, or we need to reset expectations, or we need to just level set and align with our customers, at which sometimes that can be tough. It can be tough, and it can go really, really well. So that could be a season that you're in right now. Also, you could just have this drive right now. Maybe you're in your like most utmost creative space and moments right now, where this is just what you live for. You live for the busy season. And if that's great, that if that's you, then that's amazing. That's great. I'm so excited that you have that. Um, and that is where we all want and we strive to be, right? So, and if you don't have that, then hopefully this video will be able to help you to have some steps that you can take to move towards that. So in this season, you could be feeling many things, right? So you could be feeling when focusing on mental health, maybe just like that person who is excited and they're living for this moment. Maybe you're feeling energized, perhaps you're feeling excited, maybe you're just feeling very creative, joyful, eager to meet your client's request. And if you're in that space, that's awesome. That's awesome. On the other hand, you might be feeling like you're tired, maybe weary, maybe extremely exhausted. And some people may even feel like they're not enough. They can't keep up. And because they aren't able to keep up, maybe you're feeling like you're not enough. Or maybe perhaps you're feeling like you're just not wanting to do this anymore. When you start to have feelings such as that, you might need to just reevaluate where you are. And that is what this whole purpose of this video for is that I'm going to give you 5 questions that you can ask yourself to help just double check your mental health, double check where you are so that you can make some really great positive actions towards kind of disseminate just dismissing some of those challenging spots in your life and in your career right now. So many times we get to a situation where we are overwhelmed and we can feel ourselves even going towards a situation where we might be going towards burnout. You will possibly feel this through some chronic stressors that might be happening over and over again. It's really important to take note of what those stressors perhaps may be for you. So, burnout, although it's not necessarily, a diagnosis, although, however, I would say the World Health Organization does say that burnout is a diagnosis. So it can definitely be a diagnosis and it is a very serious, but it's a huge contributor also to your mental health and can impact it significantly. So making sure that we're evaluating the stresses, evaluating if we're headed into burnout, if we are burnout, is definitely going to be something that we want to take a look at. So with that said, if you're resonating with this, if this is something that you are saying, yes, I need these 5 questions, or yes, I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling like I can't do this anymore, go ahead and raise your hand or put a little comment in there so that I can see where you are. And if you're awesome, you're cool, you're excited, this is a great season for you, and you're here just as a refresh to make sure that you're staying on top of your game, then awesome. I would love to hear that too. So make sure to communicate with me. I love to hear all of these things in the comments. So the first question that you should ask yourself if you are feeling like you don't want to do this anymore, you're weary, you're extremely overwhelmed, and you feel like you possibly are heading to burnout fast and furious, is what area am I struggling with the most? It's really important to just highlight the target pain point that you are experiencing right now. Many times we're working so hard, we have a lot on our plate, it gets stacked up so much that it's hard for you to figure out what exactly it is. When you're overwhelmed, many times it's hard to really disseminate the one thing that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. So it's very important for you to ask yourself, well, what area am I struggling the most? This could be interesting. I had a client that was continually working with a customer, and the customer was very needy, very I would say, for lack of a better word, very micromanaging, not necessarily trusting the information that was coming from this particular planner. But it ended up happening so much so that it was impacting that planner's mental health to the point where this particular person did not want to work with that client or didn't even want to work in the company anymore because it got so bad in their company anymore. So this could be a challenge because sometimes you feel as though you're just reeling back and you're not able to catch up or you're not able to change the situation. So perhaps that is a similar situation like yours, or maybe you're struggling in something else. Again, it could be a situation where you have so many details to finalize before you're going on site. And because there's just so much to put together in the way that you need to put it together, you're overwhelmed. But you're not necessarily seeing it because you have people contacting you on all fronts. So that can also be another example of someone that's struggling in their work and not necessarily sure of where to start. So, again, that first question is more, what area are you struggling in the most? And just ask yourself that question. Take a little note of what that is. If it's more than one area, great. Just put those areas down and we'll definitely get back to it. But it's important for you to just extract what's going on. What's really going on in your world, and what are you struggling with the most so that you can start to begin to sort it out? Because if you're not sorting it out, then what ends up happening is you can reel back from it. It can be really hard for you to catch up, and you might feel that you're alone and you're isolated, and then we keep on spinning out of control. So let's get hold of it and really pinpoint what those areas are for yourself. Okay. So the second question that you should ask yourself is, do you have the support that you need at work? So ask yourself this question, because that's very important too, if you have the support that you need at work. Many times we are working in an environment that really demands the excellence, demands you being there and showing up and no questions asked, and excellence, excellence, excellence as a driver. And although those things are commendable, many times it's hard for a person that's not necessarily used to that or is going through a challenging time in their lives to be able to just deal with the situation, right? So you have to ask yourself, do you have the support? Do I have the support that I need at work? And that's a very valid question because if you have people to help you support you, whether it's through delegation, maybe there's some things that you can give them. Do you have the tools that you need? Are you working with antiquated tools or do you need something that's a little bit more robust to be able to help you with the automation and what you need in order to support your work? Those are key questions to ask. So, for that question, you can just ask yourself, yes, I have the support I need at work. If so, are you definitely taking hold of what that support is for yourself? Are you using that support would be the next thing, right? And if it's no, you do not have that support, just evaluate. Is it something that you need to ask for that support? Or is it something that you need to really find support elsewhere, right? Find a way to understand what kind of support you need and if you have that support. Many times, people can fall into a situation where pride takes over. Pride is definitely a factor that takes over. You don't want to be seen as the one that needs to help. Everybody else seems to be able to deal with things. And so, why me? Or all of my other colleagues perhaps do not have an issue with their workload. And I do. So, I don't want to seem like the person who has the challenge. And that definitely is understandable. However, your mental health matters. And if it's something that you feel as though you do need the support, you're in a challenging time, then I would say go ahead and get that support. Talk to your leader, talk to someone at work that can be able to help you with that. Many times it's not just what we're dealing with at work that is all that we're dealing with at work. Many times there are things that we're dealing with at our home. It's not necessarily work. Maybe we're having some challenges in relationships that we have outside of your career. Maybe you're taking care of a loved one that is struggling with an illness. Maybe it's a terminal illness. Maybe they're on hospice. There's so many things that can contribute to your performance at work or you needing some more support at work. So everybody's situation is unique. If others are able to strive and do well, awesome. That's great. They're at a good point where they can do that. But if you're not able to, then yes, let's see what kind of support that we get. If we get it at work, let's go ahead and go forward with it and have those discussions. If we don't have that, let's see how we can get those things and take the proactive step to do that. So that was the second question. It was, do I have the support that I need at work? All right, I'm just doing a check-in. What do you think about these couple questions so far? Have you gotten any ahas from this? Do you realize maybe that you do have a support at work that you have not leaned on, and maybe that's something that you would need to do? If so, that's great. Share that in the comments. We want to be able to hear that, not hear that, but actually read that in the comments so that we can just, give you a high five or just kind of commend you for just stepping out and saying, yes, I can do that. I can go ahead and get that support that I need. All right. So moving on to the third question. The third question is a great one. It kind of goes along with that second question that we had, that I had shared with you. The third question is, I have a mentor that supports and encourages me in my career. Is that you? Do you have a mentor that supports and encourages you in your career? Because I believe that this is just definitely profoundly important as well. Many times we are working in an environment that it's really hard to express ourselves, to express what we're going through, to vent, but then also get direction that is not biased, right? So with that said, having a mentor, or even I would say go so far as having a coach to help support you, to help encourage you, motivate you, help guide you, is can be very key and be very, very important for you. Um, this can be a friend that you look up to that perhaps isn't working in your place of work. This can be a coach like me that you're saying, hey, Naomi, I want you to come alongside of me in this journey. I definitely go through challenges all of the time, and it could be great to have someone that's holding me accountable to making sure that my mental health is in check. And I really would like for you to support me in that. I would love to help support you. However, I just want to say it's just important. It's important to have that kind of support. So, if this is you and you're saying that you do not have anyone that you can go to just connect with outside of your work so that you can have some non-biased conversation about what you do, then I would say go and get that person. Okay. That's a person that you would want to be able to speak to you, be able to encourage you, be able to help let you know that, hey, you're on the right track. Or here's how they possibly would handle a situation such as yours. So that is definitely uh, that's definitely what you would want to do with that. See if you have a mentor. If you don't have a mentor, go and get one. Ask someone to be a mentor. You can definitely send a quick email to somebody that you admire, that you have seen do really well, that they can handle themselves well, and that has, let's say, the experience and what you want to be able to be good at, and ask them this question. Hey, I love the way you do what you do. You seem to have it all together, and I am looking for a mentor. Is that something that you would be able to help me with? Typically, with a mentor, it's great to just meet maybe once a month for coffee, or if you're working with a coach, like working with me, typically it's we're meeting every other week and just touching base and checking in. So those are just some ideas that you can have. Meet with somebody once a month so that they can check in and make sure that you're doing okay. So there, that was that third, I think that, yeah, the third question, and we're going to move on to the fourth question. Hopefully you don't hear the birds outside of my window because they're just cawing very loud, and it seems to happen, of course, right when you're on a live stream, but it's all good. We're going to continue. We're going to continue to roll with it. It's just nice to have, the nice view. But apparently today, yeah, just hear a lot of the cawing. So I hope you don't hear that. We'll go ahead and go on to our fourth question. This is a fourth question that you should ask yourself in order to help support your mental health. And that question is, I recognize the stress signals and know when to take a break. And that question for me to you is, do you? Do you recognize the stress signals and know when to take a break? I talk about this all the time. This is something that I talk about in our the Banish Burnout Challenge. We talk about that all the time there. And it's recognizing when you need to take a break, finding out what your burnout prevention plan is. Do you have a plan for yourself that you routinely take action on making sure that you are feeling good about yourself, feeling good about your work, and you're doing that through targeted self care? That's very important. And many times that goes in with this question because you need to know when you're going to be stressed or when things start to trigger you and stress you so that and know what you respond to help you feel good, to help you feel refreshed, to help you persevere, have some resilience. So it's important for us to build that burnout resiliency um, in our lives. And many times it goes hand in hand with knowing what your stress signals are. So, for example, if you have a client that stresses you out. We do have that. That happens. We don't want to talk about it because we don't want to talk about it. But many times you just have people that perhaps stress you out. Maybe it's their approach, maybe it's their personality. But to know that this client, when they do this, they stress me out. Or when my leader talks to me about this, that stresses me out. Or that one person always asks questions that I don't have an answer to and I don't like the fact that I don't have an answer to her question, so that stresses me out. Whatever it is, take hold of what that is for you and definitely keep it in mind because you need to know how to build in a plan of prevention against whatever that stress trigger or stressor is in your life. So that again, it can be different for different people. Some people's stressor can be driving to work and it's the traffic to work every day and it just starts their day off, messed up. And perhaps they just need to build in a plan of maybe taking the train, it's stress free, or doing something different working remotely, something that might help them support that stressor in their lives and help them to prevent it from getting to them because these stressors can build up and it can make you bitter, it can make you resentful, they can then lead to disengagement and you can get to a point where you're in a chronic stress situation that you feel like you cannot escape the stressor that is there, and that's what you're trying to avoid. So find out what that stress signals are for you that you're dealing with right now and know when you need to take a break. Now, some people, speaking of taking a break, some people have different ways that they do this. I have a friend that loves to just have, she goes to the YMCA, right? She does a lot of working out there. But at our local YMCA, there's people that do massages there, relatively inexpensive. So, as a part of her self care routine and helping her to target her stress as she builds in that massage once a month for her to do. Many people also have a routine plan where they're routinely getting a massage once a month. Now, self care isn't always about the massage. It can be, hey, I'm taking a walk every day, or I'm doing my gratitude journal daily, or I'm having like a daily morning routine that helps support me, helping me to feel filled with gratitude and then also giving me those nice affirmations that I need in order for me to utilize at a point where I'm stressed. So there's many different ways that we can go about doing this in our lives. So I'm just asking for you to take an evaluation of what your stress signals are and then find out if you need to take a break. And if you do need to, building in a plan of how that can happen, and then building in a prevention plan of looking forward on how you can continue to have that be something that you do in your work day. All right. So that was question number 4. We're coming into the last question. Again, if you have any comments that you would like to put in the comments, go ahead and do that. Even if you come here on the replay, let me know that you're here on the replay and tell me Hey, which one of these questions resonated and what is something that you're taking away from this video? I would love to be able to just read those. All right. The next question is, what one thing can you do to make it easier for yourself today? So, if many of you that know me and that come to every video and that comment, you know that it's all about taking action. You can hear all of these things now that I'm telling you, but if you don't take action, there will not be any change. So, if you are somebody that is experiencing stress, overwhelm, if you feel like you're going into burnout, even if you feel like nothing can be changed, that in itself highlights a challenge that you, my friend, can overcome. So I would just say to make a list of one thing, just that list of one, that one thing that you can do to make it easier for yourself today. Definitely write that down and definitely do that. So after we've gone through all these questions, if you're saying, I just need to get the support that I need the support. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to my leader about getting that support. That's one step in the right direction. Okay. If you're going to ask somebody to help you on a project that you have going on, that's one step in the right direction. If from this point forward you're saying, you know what, I just need to just have stress relief in my life monthly, and you're putting together a plan that you're going to go to your cabin once a month and have a nice weekend at your cabin that you never see throughout the year, perfect, do that. If you want to make sure that you're getting out with friends and you want to host parties because that just gives you life, right? And you want to do that once a month, host a party of your friends, or host a just a gathering of friends just to connect with your friends because you miss them, then do that. That helps you support your mental health, helps you to feel good about you, good about who you are, and great about your work because you'll come back feeling refreshed and feeling like you can take on anything. So those were the 5 questions. Those are 5 questions for mental health awareness. And again, because this is World Mental Health Day, I wanted to come and just bring something to you, those that are in the vet profession. We have some really amazing work that we do. We definitely are under a high amount of pressure. Not saying for you to leave your job or do anything like that, but I am saying, hey, let's be more aware. Let's have the right conversations because what we are experiencing, the pressures that we're experiencing, it's real and it impacts our health. It impacts not only our mental health, it can impact our physical health. There can be physical manifestations of the stress and the overwhelm too, and then even that can impact your mental health. So it's just really important to make sure that we keep this on our radar. As much as we want to be high performers, we also want to make sure that we are healthy so that we can last the long haul and that we can also be just a bright light to our family and to our friends as well. And that's what it's all about, friends. So let me know what resonated with you. I want to know definitely in the comments. And I look forward to continuing this conversation. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I would say go ahead and subscribe. I would love to see you on every single video that I do. And yeah, I also am going to provide these 5 questions in the form of a worksheet for you. So just check out the comments. I'll have that link for you there. That way you can go ahead and print it off. And maybe most of you want to write things down. And I will provide that for you as a part of this video as well as my gift to you. So that is all I have. I just thank you so much. And yeah, I think we're going to get out of here. Have a wonderful rest of your day.